I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. New orders have been issued in the federal criminal case, United States versus Donald Trump, the 37-count criminal indictment against Donald Trump that was recently unsealed, case number 923-CR-80101. These new orders shed some additional light on what we can expect to take place during the arraignment, which is, of course, set to take place today on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time in a Miami federal courthouse within the Southern District of Florida federal court system. This new order was issued by Jonathan Goodman, the duty magistrate judge who is in Miami, who solely for the purposes of this arraignment will be presiding over the arraignment matter, not any other aspect of the case. There will be a different magistrate judge. We believe it will likely be Judge Reinhardt, but a different magistrate judge who will ultimately be assigned to the case. And unfortunately, as of now, as of this recording, there has not been any recusal motion filed with respect to Judge Eileen Cannon, who's still the federal judge presiding over the case, and Judge Eileen Cannon has not made any filings suggesting that she is going to self-recuse. It's not a change in anything that the magistrate judge is presiding over the arraignment. That's the duty of the magistrate judge. And just so you know, what goes down at the arraignment is the criminal defendant will show up and enter their plea of guilty or not guilty. There will also be discussions and a ruling on bail and potential restrictions attendant to bail, like travel restrictions. This order that just came down is an order on the press coalition motion to bring cameras and audio recordings and other electronic recording devices into the courtroom, or more specifically here for the media entities to come together and pool their resources. So there could be one pool or a few pool cameras or audio recording devices. And ultimately the magistrate judge, the duty magistrate judge, who will just be presiding over the arraignment, that's Judge Jonathan Goodman, has denied the request by the media. So it's just going to be notebooks and taking notes and then reporting after what happens. So there's not going to be live tweeting from the arraignment. There's not going to be cameras. There's not going to be audio recordings. I want to read for you the order. It is generally the case in federal court proceedings that there are no audio recordings, there are no video cameras, unlike in certain state court proceedings where there's a little bit of a different presumption there, and different states have different rules, but we're more familiar seeing video recording and audio recording in state court criminal and civil procedures. I think it's beyond anachronistic and old and silly and stupid, frankly, just to be a little bit crass, why federal courts are not transparent and open to the public with video. These are public courts, and audio recording, that's just generally the rule. And here, the duty magistrate judge, Jonathan Goodman, says that there is no special exception here. And also one of the things that Jonathan Goodman says is, look, makes it clear, I'm just serving as the duty judge for this arraignment, and I'm not going to be involved in any other aspect of this proceeding. So in the order, the magistrate judge says, so I don't want to make any rulings that could potentially hamstring or impact the way the judge who ultimately will be presiding over the case and the future magistrate judge will want to run this case and run their docket. But here is the order on press coalition motion. It says a coalition of local and national news media organizations, which describe itself as the Press Coalition, filed this afternoon. They filed it on Monday. A motion regarding the arraignment of former President Donald Trump, although the title appears to limit the motion to only today's first appearance, and arraignment of former President Donald J. Trump. It also seeks relief for all future proceedings and hearings. The Press Coalition makes two broad requests. One, it wants the court to permit a limited number of photographs and video recordings in the courtroom and/or the outside corridor before tomorrow's proceedings begin. And two, wants immediate release of the recordings of tomorrow's proceedings and in future proceedings. The undersigned, meaning this magistrate judge, will start with a common sense jurisdictional point and observation. I follow the, quote, stay in your lane philosophy. My involvement in this case will almost certainly end tomorrow. I am handling tomorrow's first appearance and arraignment only because of my status as duty magistrate judge in the Miami division of this court. I am not the magistrate judge paired with United States District Judge Eileen M. Cannon, and it is highly unlikely that I will be asked to remain involved. So I do not feel it is appropriate for me to rule on what happens in future proceedings when I am not the district judge and when I will have no involvement whatsoever. Movants, meaning the media petitioners, rely on Local Rule 77.1 to support their first request, but that local rule prohibits all forms of photographing, audio and video recording, broadcasting, or televising within the environs of any place of holding court in the district, including courtrooms, chambers, adjacent rooms, hallways, doorways, stairways, elevators, or offices of supporting personnel, whether the court is in session or at recess. That is a broad prohibition. To be sure, the rule does have an exception for, quote, photographing in connection with naturalization hearings or other special proceedings as approved by a judge of this court. The Press Coalition argues that tomorrow's first appearance and arraignments are special proceedings, but the undersigned, the magistrate judge, is not convinced. The special proceedings term referenced in the local rule is analogized to a proceeding akin to a naturalization proceeding. Tomorrow's proceedings are undoubtedly special in that they are genuinely historic and of huge importance, but they are not in any way similar to a naturalization proceeding. The motion does not cite any case or legal authority which would support the view that photographs are permitted at tomorrow because the first appearance and arraignment are, quote, special proceedings, as the term is used in the rule. Moreover, allowing photographs would undermine the massive security arrangements put in place. Shifting focus to the second request, the undersigned, the judge, is similarly not convinced that immediate disclosure of the audio is warranted. Tomorrow's proceedings will be public. News media representatives and ordinary citizens will be permitted to attend the hearing in person on a first-come, first-served basis. Moreover, because the undersigned anticipates that there will not be enough in-court seats to accommodate everyone who would like to be present in the courtroom, the undersigned has arranged, with the help of the clerk of the court, to have a live video feed broadcast into the spillover room. Therefore, those wishing to see and hear the proceedings unfold live will have an opportunity to do that. Additionally, the undersigned has already coordinated with the court reporter to provide an expedited transcript of tomorrow's hearing. The undersigned anticipates that the transcript will in fact be available tomorrow. Based on, that's Tuesday, this order came out on Monday. Based on these reasons, the undersigned denies, but without prejudice, the motion. As noted, my jurisdiction covers only tomorrow's hearing, not the remainder of the case. Therefore, the Press Coalition may refile its motion with Judge Cannon for rulings on similar requests concerning future hearings, done and ordered in chambers, Miami, Florida, on June 12, 2023. Signed, Jonathan Goodman, United States Magistrate Judge. The Honorable Eileen Cannon who I believe is dishonorable, is copied, as well as all counsel of record. So from this order, there's a lot that we can glean. One, that as of the time of this order, Judge Cannon has not recused herself. There hasn't been a recusal motion filed. Two, Jonathan Goodman will be the duty magistrate judge who will be presiding over the arraignment in his functions as a magistrate judge. Three, Magistrate Judge Goodman will not be doing anything else with the case. It will go to the normal jurisdictional magistrate judge who would be assigned to the case. And four, that there's not going to be any media audio, video recording in there but people can take notes and then afterwards explain the situation, and then there'll be a transcript of the proceedings immediately available. Also, the Chief District Judge of the Southern District of Florida, Judge Cecilia M. Altanaga, also made a similar order to, I guess, not leave any doubt at all. And the administrative order talks about on November 14, 2019, administrative order was entered restricting filming of any kind in any building housing a federal court, including any lobby areas, except in connection with naturalization hearings. That's what Judge Goodman talked about in his order. Further, on October 17, 2018, Administrative Order 2018-79 was entered limiting the types of electronic devices that may be brought into and used in any federal courthouse facility within the Southern District of Florida. It is ordered that on Tuesday, June 13, 2023, all cellular phones and/or electronic equipment are hereby prohibited for news reporters and other members of the media inside the United States courthouse. It is further ordered that the United States Marshal Service is to continue to inspect all cellular phones and other electronic equipment as they are brought into the federal courthouse facilities, directed to protect the bench, bar, and public from harm. It is further ordered that the penalty for a willful violation of this order includes a sentence of 30 days in jail and/or a $5,000 fine. Order that all other provisions of the order shall remain in effect. The order shall be effective immediately. Done and ordered, Miami, Florida, the 12th day of June, 2023. That effectively means no cell phones, no live tweeting, no any other devices, no electronic devices at all. So there you have it, folks. Two of the kind of first orders that are in this case following the unsealing of the indictment. Arraignment will be taking place later in the day at 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific. We will, of course, keep you posted as we learn more. As soon as we get that transcript, we'll let you know everything that happened. If there's any updates on any potential recusal motions regarding Judge Eileen Cannon, we'll let you know. If there's any filings by the government, we'll let you know. If there's any appearance by Donald Trump's lawyers as well, we'll let you know, because we believe it to be Christopher Keiss will be Donald Trump's local Florida lawyer, who will be there with Todd Blanche, who's a New York lawyer. You have to have a Florida state lawyer there who will sponsor an out-of-state lawyer like Todd Blanche in what's called pro hoc vice. That's the terminology. But we don't fully know which Trump lawyers are going to be there. But of course, as soon as we know, we will be covering it here on the MeidasTouch Network. Hey, hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers. Thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch. And wherever you get audio podcasts, subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast and have a great day.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.